Welcome to the SCRA CEO podcast,
where we hear from CEOs
on their entrepreneurial experience.
Hi, this is Lee McElwain with SCRA, SC Launch Program, and it's an honor for me to welcome you to CEO Podcast with Ric Hoke, who's the founder and CEO of WAVS Custom.
Hey, Lee, thanks for having me.
No, my pleasure, Ric. What we really want to do in the CEO Podcast is get to know you, your company, and really how you've grown, so that we can better serve you and have you be certainly an important part of this community. So I'll kind of tee up an easy question. Just tell us more about you and your company and what you do.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Thank you. My name is Ric Hoke. I was born in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Raised a lot of time there throughout the Southeast and a couple of other places, but I call Greenville home. I started a company in 2020 called WAVS. And I invented the product in about 2019. I came up with it and started running tests. And in 2020, I launched the product. And WAVS is a custom fit, custom design earphone company. What makes us special is that to get the measurements for a person's ear, we use the biometric data that is on your iPhone. So basically, you're going to scan your ear just like this, almost taking like a selfie. And we collect that data and we turn that into a 3D printed, custom fitted earphone. We've sold thousands and thousands of these. Every one of them is handmade here in South Carolina. And one of our biggest markets is musicians. They use something called an in-ear monitor on stage to help them perform. It protects their hearing, but also helps them. It's used as a tool to be able to collaborate with the band more efficiently. So more than 90% of our customers since starting have been musicians and a lot of worship musicians. Worship music has risen in these past 5 years, where it's there's a lot more production, there's a lot more people joining the worship teams, and in-ear monitors have become very essential to them doing better on the team. WAVS is really cool in the fact that it nothing exists like it, and we're able to do something that no one else is doing. Custom fits have been around for 20 years, but no one has ever been able to do it from a scan from your iPhone so easily and come out with such a high-end product. We also pride ourselves on the affordability of these. So I'm able to make these for a very affordable price and keep my margins very well. So that's a little bit overview of WAVS, that we are we're just a company that came up with a product, and we're selling and making as many of them as possible and growing as fast as possible. And the SCRA has had a big impact on that, especially in this past year. So it's been a wonderful journey this far, but that's a little bit about WAVS.
Well, that's good. Thank you for the comment as well. It's been great to work with you. And I remember you made an interesting point where we were talking right before here, where you and I got together 2+ years ago at least, and just really had a chance to talk and see what you were doing. And it's remarkable to see not only how far you've come, the journey, and the fact that you've allowed us to really be a part of that journey and help you. So. I guess as a follow-on, Ric, you said it's been about 2 years since your journey. What would you say are kind of some of the biggest challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome those challenges?
Sure. Yes. When you're manufacturing a product and you're making a consumer product, and you're doing it all yourself, and you're learning and you're using technologies that are very new to the public, you have hosts of challenges that come at you, some more scientific than others. Some of them presented, some of them surprises, but there are challenges in making a product that is you want to be scalable too. So one of the first challenges was um, building the product first off so it was of high quality and that the consumers would enjoy it. And it was an easy way for them to get. That was challenge one. So I went through a whole host of R&D experience of 3D printing and learning how different parts of the 3D printing process worked. Even when it was still new, I was ordering my printers off of Amazon at first in this very first process and learning how these printers work. So I'd never used SLA printing, which is the type of printing we use before. So it was R&D as much as you can believe. Printer resin everywhere, electronics everywhere, learning how the process worked. And uh,
Yeah.
so that was it had its own host of challenges when it comes to the product and making sure that we came out with something superior. Now it's in such a beautiful place. Here's an example. I actually have one of our brand new this is a custom headset. It's got a cool abalone fixture on there, and now it has a detachable mic right here. So this will be coming out in February. I use it for Zoom calls and stuff like that. It'll be more targeted towards the gamers and using it as gaming. But
Yeah.
I'm not such a gamer. I use it for this. But that was also a challenge. We wanted to come out with another product that was other than IEMs. We wanted to come out with another solution for another market and using our technology and using our manufacturing process. And so I wanted to do as much as I could to make this company also scalable. So everything that we did to produce the product and anything I could come up with to advance the quality of the product, I was also thinking of the scalability of it
Okay.
and how quick we could make the product. I'm proud to say that we took taking a set from 2.5 so years ago. It took a set to make one set. It took about 2 hours to make. Now we are all the way down to 15 to 20 minutes per set.
Wow,
So
that's remarkable.
it is so awesome to be able to say that when it comes from producing a consumer product and expecting to scale it as hard as possible to get to everybody. And so that has been a huge success and the the advancement came from having hiring the right people with really
Hmm.
good brains. SCRA helped me in hiring two amazing people that work here who their brains are unlike anybody else's. And when you put us all together, we were able to figure out the best way to advance this product, the best way to make it the highest quality possible, and the best way to have it so it's scalable and
Yeah.
investable. There's no point in having such a product if you can't scale it, if you can't give it to everybody who might need it. And so a roundabout way that was a big challenge.
Well, I know product can be getting the product exactly as you need it can be certainly a big challenge. How I was wanted to follow on to that question where you use 3D printing in
Mhm.
a very unique way to really, I would say, address the challenges to do that. Can you describe more about how the impact that 3D printing had to your business and how it helps you scale?
Absolutely. So it's been really cool to see 3D printing advance as quickly as possible. Like you're looking at from my point of view, you're looking at other companies that are developing 3D printing and 3D printing software, and they're moving so fast. They're able to advance their processes, and the machines themselves were advancing at the same time that I was making this product. Um, what's special about this 3D printing, and I believe sooner than later, 3D printers are going to be in a lot more public places and homes and different environments. And the the special thing about our 3D printing method is that we're able to do it so quickly that we're able to
Yeah.
take a file of a 3D scan, a 3D model, and we're able to put it right on the printer and have it print in a matter of minutes. Whereas in the past. 3D printing has been around a while, but in different forms. There's FDM printing, which is you guys have one inside one of your facilities, I know.
Okay.
Um, and then there's SLA printing. So FDM is kind of like it kind of like a pin that squirts out a filament, and that filament creates the object. We use SLA printing, or you could call it photopolymer printing. And what it is a vat of resin that is liquefied. And
Hmm.
then you have a plate that comes down to the vat of resin. Under the vat of resin, you have a UV light that does certain shapes of whatever model you're building, and it shoots out that UV light into the vat of resin. Every time it shoots out the light into the vat of resin, a layer
Hmm.
cures. And so it builds it like this. And it used to be like
Okay.
this, very slow, very slow. And then
Yeah.
in a matter of months, these advancements start happening where it's doing layers extremely quick. The everything within the printing process is really um is really the advancement of the using the UV lights and different spectrums of the lights, and its ability to work with the resins and create that that scientific reaction, that reaction that happens that cures the resin. So
Okay.
that advancement has made the company move extremely fast. So where I would sit there and I'd be waiting for a print to get off, waiting to work on something. Now they're
Yeah.
waiting on me. Now the prints are all off, and I'm getting to them as quickly as
You're ready to go.
possible. Yes, sir. And we're excited about the future of it as well, as we're incorporating more machine learning, more AI into processing from the scans and the customer scans to
Hmm.
printing on the printer. We're able to even cut that time down even more. So our ability to scale is just going to improve on that 3D printer side by using new technologies that weren't accessible a year ago and definitely weren't accessible 5 years ago.
Well, what's a great story that you just shared, the fact that you're able to leverage technology to create a competitive advantage, which
Yeah.
you did in using 3D printing. And now you're leveraging not only artificial intelligence, but the combination of AI and 3D printing
Mhm.
to help you scale your business as well.
Yes, sir.
All in Greenville, which it sounds like you're taking the core, I guess, technology components, the
Mhm.
speakers, the microphones, all the electronics, and then assembling those still in Greenville. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's
We are.
great.
And it's awesome. I've have this family history of my grandfather and my father working in textile mills, and
Mm,
very hands-on workers, and very great men.
yeah.
And it ever since I was little, I always wanted to build something. Like I didn't know what it was going to be when I was little, but I like to build things. I like to be into different electronics. I always took things apart, and
Yeah.
like, sometimes didn't know how to put them back together, but I wanted to see what was inside of it.
That's all part of it, right?
Yes, sir. And so that all it's a great place to be here in Greenville in South Carolina, having the family history of working in factories, and I'm very passionate about growing the the great business that is here, and hiring more people, and 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 giving more people hands-on opportunity with to do jobs. Greenville's just a great place to do that. So yes, sir, we're still a small team, but we're just capable of so much because of the advancement in technology and the advancement in our process that we're able to do a whole lot with just a very small team at the moment.
And which is great that you've leveraged the people that you've hired, certainly smart people that have helped you be able to succeed, and you've leveraged the technology to help create a market leading product. I mean, a good niche in a highly competitive market that has allowed you to be successful. How so I'm just thinking with Greenville has great
Mhm.
startup ecosystem. What are
Yes.
the other components that have you think just even from a community standpoint that have helped contributed to your success, that have helped you with managing your, getting the talent piece, the
Mhm.
products, finding a location, all the above?
Mhm. Um, the So the most important thing that I've learned, especially being a business kind of like unlike any other, in that you're making a consumer product, you're a startup, you're
Mhm.
at last year going getting funding and growing the business. It was so important in the ecosystem to meet other people that had the same mindset, that were
Yeah.
that were that were in SCR. Y'all have so many members that I've met that I didn't know before all of this, and that I've kept in good contact with, that are going through the same things that I went through and are going through, small teams trying to do something very big with something unique. And we have roundtables and we get together and
That's
we chat it up and try to pick each other's brains. We talk about the good things and the frustrating things, and more than anything, you make friends with people who are going through the same sort of journey that you're going through. And that just knowing that there are others out there in the community that are trying to do something that like us, and growing a startup and making an impact has been extremely helpful. I've definitely enjoyed meeting a lot of the other SCRA members, and a lot of them I haven't met yet, that there's a ton of them. I mean, there's some really cool
yeah.
robotics companies that I like hearing about that I can't wait to meet. They're like right down the street. And like you find people that there's a community that you have to kind of be in the SCRA to kind of plug into, to kind of have that badge of, okay, we're here and we're all kind of in the same boat. What can we learn from each other? What can we do here? If not anything, just talking and being aware that there are other companies trying to do an impactful business. And
Well,
yeah.
yeah. Well, you make a really good point, and I appreciate your sharing that, because that community that you've been able to build, that we can help contribute to, because you're part of a larger community of members that we have, is definitely one of the core, like I guess the core benefits that we bring to the table
Mhm.
is you're not alone as a founder anymore, and we're able to share, bring you in environments that you can talk to other members that are similar, share stories, learn. So
Mhm.
hopefully you don't have to go through some of the same issues as a founder,
Absolutely.
that others have been. How, just thinking of how else has really SDR, we haven't really talked a lot about, say, the financials piece. How have we helped you? Because I know you started with really intent to bootstrap. You did an incredible job doing that, which a lot of founders want to do, but raise money early. What
Mhm.
advice can you give other founders on your financial management and how SDR has helped you there?
So it has been a lot of the money that has been invested from the SCRA has been able to use to hire extremely good brains. Don't be
Yeah.
afraid to hire who you need, who can get the job done and adds an edge to your an advantage of producing or whatever you're creating. Number one, it gives you the strength and ability to do that. Number two, I needed machines. I needed technology, I needed access to technology to advance the product. And that was such a huge, huge thing that happened with gaining funding from the SCRA, was I was able to go out and get the advanced printers that I need. I was able to go out and get more computers. I was able to order product to clear out my backlog. I had a backlog of 100 orders that had to be filled, and I needed everything to do that and do it quickly and make sure that I never had a backlog again. It was those sort of advancements. It's the the financial investment in WAVS has been super impactful to get us right where we are right now, where we're ready to put as much gas as we can into this machine and run it as hard as possible. It's like I talk about, like it's building a car. Like we've built a
Yeah.
literal machine that is meant to run. And before I had like a Honda, and now, I mean, now we got like a BMW. Now we got, the keyword BMW or an Audi. We got
Yeah.
something that is really that hums when it moves and it just knocks out exactly what we needed to, which would not have been able, from the first grant that you guys gave me, was huge. That started everything. I was like, when I got that grant, I was like, now there's opportunity. There's opportunity to move forward. There's opportunity to get bigger. There's opportunity to get better. And as a founder, that really started the movement of let's raise funds. Let's
Okay.
find out how to do it, what I need to do, who I need to talk to, and how it all works. That really lit the fire of that this can go to the next level, that this is possible. Having people like you, Lee, and the board, believing in the product, believing in what I was doing enough to provide a grant and then further on follow on with funding. And it's that's been the biggest thing. There's been such substantial growth of being able to grow the company through you guys' help.
Well, thank you, Brett. Thanks for saying that. It is what we do. I mean, I can tell you, even from my perspective, it's the part of the job that gives all of us that work for SCRA and SC Launch Inc. The smile on our faces every day is to work, especially with people like you. Because now I
Thank you.
will share that, and for other founders that are listening to this, coachability is really a key piece to know that you sometimes don't know everything that you need to be able to listen as much as you can, and to know we don't have all the answers, but the goal is to bring the resources to you so that you have the knowledge to really run your company the way you need to run your company, and that's what we try to do.
Absolutely.
So last couple of questions might be, Rick, if you look back to
Mhm.
your journey,
Yes.
where you are today, what are a couple things that you say you would do differently?
Mhm.
What decisions would you make, and how would you advise founders accordingly?
A couple things I would do differently is is ask for help more. Like I think that um early on I could have asked for more help and guidance of starting this. I feel like, I could have started raising funds earlier. I could have
Yeah,
I could have taken that initiative, but I didn't know about a lot of the opportunities that could lay ahead. I just didn't know. Um, and so I think I could have looked for a little bit more guidance in the early stages. It said I struggled a lot. Like I went through a lot of struggles on my own, trying to figure this out and
yeah,
trying to do it when then I found you guys, and then I started looking deeper, and I was like, okay, well, like had I known these guys existed earlier, had I known, but I was living in like a cave, putting my, trying to build the product. I knew
yeah,
nothing that happened outside that 10 by 10 cave, but yeah, it's asking for help. Like it's hard, especially for founders, because you have um a sort of pride and drive to do it yourself, because you're like, I created this, I want to do it myself, I want to, it's kind of natural. I think when in the maybe the character of who, when you start a business, is that you can be hard-headed and not ask for help. And
yeah,
so but I've learned so quickly that there is an enormous amount of help out there. There's you have access to all these different people and brains that are happy to sit down and talk with you and help you figure things out and help you manage the best way to grow and help you make the right decisions, because they've either been in there before,
yeah,
because they're founders themselves, or they've worked with founders that have been there before. That would be one. That would be one. I've I'm always the one who wants to try to do it myself and try to figure it out myself. But I've learned the most important lesson is to give up control too. To be a CEO, the biggest thing is you have to delegate, and that was
yeah,
one of my hardest objectives, was to trust someone else with the process and processes that needed to help the machine run,
yeah,
and then me to be able to look forward and to be able to manage the business and do what I can to make sure that it goes where it needs to go. But on the back end, this is a factory, this is a operation, and I had to take my hands off the reins per se, and say, all right, guys, you guys do it. You guys do it. And as soon as I did that, the product started getting better. As soon as I let other brains into it and saying, all right, you figure out this printing process that I've kind of been struggling with and having these issues. And, they have to be passionate about it. Who's going to be passionate about your ideas, but then they start solving things. Then they start fixing problems that existed. And then everything just kind of makes it better. So it's like, once you give up control, things become a lot easier. And once you ask for help, things become a lot easier. But it's one of the hardest things to do, I think, when you're trying to build a business and you're trying to maintain this level of confidence in yourself in the business, is to be a true CEO and delegate to other people to become optimal.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that statement, because you're right. Building that sense of trust in other people, where it's your baby, it's your
Mhm.
company, you built it from scratch, is a difficult thing to do. But I mean, really, kudos to you for finding the right people that you trust, and that having that ability that allows you to scale, so you don't have to do it all.
Yes, sir.
Rick, I guess last question that to wrap up is, how do people find you? How could they find out more information about not only your journey and your product, most
Yeah.
importantly? What's the best way they can do that? Instagram or Twitter? Well, sorry, Twitter X, but and other things.
It's gonna change next week, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Instagram is number one. You can go at Instagram, you can type in WAVS Custom, WAVS CUSTOM, and we'll pop up and you can look at the product. You can get a good feel of what the product is and what we do from our Instagram. I implore people to go to the website. I love website traffic. And that's just wavescustom.com,
okay,
and you're able to go check out, and it explains everything that we do and how we do it. And that's the best way. And then we're located on Smith Hines Road, which is it's right off of Woodruff Road, the main artery of Greenville.
yeah.
And we're over here. My door's always open. I love people to come by. If you're in South Carolina and you want to see what the operation looks like and you want to see the product and just come talk to us about it, like, I love that. That's fine. I invite anyone who would like to come visit us to come say hey.
That sounds great. Well, I'll be one of the ones that takes advantage of that next time I'm in Greenville. I want to see the operation for sure.
I look forward to it. I hope so, Lee.
Absolutely. Well, Rick, thank you so much for spending the time with us. It's really been an education for me, and I hope for those of us that are listening on as well. So my thanks to you, and wish you the best. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much, Lee. I appreciate it so much. I'll see you soon.